Hey there, Shadowbuggers, I am Blunty. Welcome to this in-motion episode of DigiDirect TV. Alright gang, you already know this from the previous episode, but just in case you're dropping in on this episode before the previous episode about the stills, today we're looking at the video functions of the Olympus Pen F, the newest member of the Pen family, and a dead sexy camera with just this lovely thing to hold and behold and look through the viewfinder. And like I said in the last episode, the tilty swivelly screen I love, but yeah, there's this stuff. And then there's what happens when you actually use it. And you know, I'm way more interested in what happens when you use it than just gushing over how sexy and wonderful and the dials everywhere. Ooh. Shush. Let me show you some video. Alright, obvious question out of the way first. Yes, it does 1080p 50 frames per second and 25 frames per second, and there's a high shutter speed slow-mo option of 120 frames per second. But that is not 1080p, sadly. We'll get to that in a second, though. To begin with, everything I love about the stills performance we talked about in the previous video holds true here. Wonderful color and tone and contrast right out of the camera without having to fiddle with it at all. And yes, you can use the art modes in video. Not entirely sure why you'd want to, really. I love using them in stills, but with video, I really prefer to do this kind of stuff in post. Now, the Pen F, although it has a fairly robust suite of video settings, everything from full auto newbie mode all the way through to super pro full manual control of everything mode, complete with an excellent zoom in and contrast highlight focus assist features, which yes, can be used together for wonderful happy times in manual focus, and the 5-axis mechanical stabilization system is second to none, I'd still not call this an ideal solution for video shooters, for only one reason. Like with the rest of the Pen line, there's no microphone input for external mics, so you're stuck with the onboard mics, which are okay, but hardly ideal. I mean, you could always record audio separately and sync it up later in editing if you really need to, but still. So, while I love the look of what comes out, if video is your priority, I'd say go for the OMD line from Olympus. Those are the ones made for you. That aside, if you are shooting video on an OMD and are looking for a perfect match for it in a secondary B-roll shooter that's nice and compact but maintains a full set of excellent physical control dials and buttons and stuff, yes, the Pen F is absolutely worth considering, because under those circumstances the onboard audio isn't an issue at all for B-roll and second cam use. And the video footage from the Pen F is going to mix and edit into OMD footage perfectly. I mean, you're seeing for yourself just how lovely and crisp the image is, liquid smooth colours and tone, and despite almost everything here being shot deliberately lazily and about one-handed half the time, the image stabilization soaks up all my wibbles and wobbles really nicely without making stuff look all artificially floaty and weird. And that is what I love most about the 5-axis image stabilization. Handheld still looks like handheld, but it's nice handheld, not an unwatchable shaky mess. Now, that 120 FPS slow-mo, it's really cool, but sadly, to get there you're sacrificing resolution. A lot of resolution actually, right down to 640 by 480 in fact. A bizarre choice seeing as social video app thingies like Vine, for instance, wants square video, and everything else these days wants 16 by 9. I can't think of any reason you would actually want 3 by 4 anymore. I'd almost have preferred it to drop down to 640 by 360 if they couldn't make a normal 720 or even 540p widescreen aspect work. I mean, you're losing more resolution that way, but at least you've got a useful 16 by 9 frame. So while it's not super practical for production of useful content, it's certainly a fun and interesting toy to play with. And scaled up to 1080p like it is here, even scaled up further to allow a widescreen crop in, it doesn't look too bad. It's a bit soft, but it's usable for casual fun time stuff. ISO 6400 at night or in low light is a really nice happy place to shoot at. It's just slightly noisy in the shadows, but nothing unpleasant. It's almost like film grain. It's mostly monochromatic and organic feeling. But again, it's the way Olympus handles color that really makes it a deeply smile-triggering thing to shoot video with at night. So yeah, not my first choice for a video shooter, thanks to the Pen line's lack of mic inputs, but if on-camera audio isn't a concern to the way you shoot, or you need a small secondary camera to complement your OMD, it's tough not to stare at the Pen F with large amounts of gear lust. So there you go, that is the Pen F in video mode. Really nice. I mean, it is a pen, which, you know, comes with the microphone thing, and I'm never going to stop ranting about that. Why? Just put microphone inputs on all the cameras everywhere. If they've got a video function, put a microphone input on. I don't care whether you're trying to make a distinction between the Pen line and the OMD line, and you know, one has mics and one has just put it on all the cameras. Surely it can't be that hard. Anyway, so A keen eye might have noticed there that while a lot of that stuff was shot with the 12mm lens, which is on the camera right now, some of them were a bit wider, because they were shot with this lens, which is another bit of new Olympus gear we're going to look at in the next episode. This is the 7-14 constant aperture f2.8 ultra wide angle zoom lens, and that is what we're looking at next episode. Spoiler alert, by the way, it's really good!